Oh my God, I got it backwards, but I think we're good here.
You got it backwards.
Yeah, I'm all screwed up.
Is it the
Hey
same
everybody,
thing?
it's me. Let's see here. Where is the button?
To do what?
Oh, Sam. All right, I'm just gonna turn this thing around. Man, what a start I'm having, huh?
Oh, you're using the wrong camera or
No,
something?
no, no, we're good. It's just filming me instead of you right now.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you got to turn.
Yeah, and I found it! Sam De La Torre!
Found it?
And Phil Frieman.
We're on.
God, what a great technician I am. I must say.
You're the greatest.
I found my calling in life, Sam.
Ruining live streams?
All right, let's see. Let's get right here. You look great as always, Sam. I'm telling you.
Is it still coming up here?
Yeah, we're good. You look great, and I look, without plastic surgery. What's up, my friend?
What's up, man?
Good to see you.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you,
Welcome
man.
back.
See, I'm a little rusty with all this. Let me tell
That's what it
you.
is.
Yeah, and if we need to move that back a little, we can do it. But I think it's okay. It's going to focus in on our faces here. Man, what a start this was. Let's see. I think I've got to go to another one now, and I'm doing that. Boy, oh boy, Sam. Well, tell me something, man. How's everything?
It's good. It's
Yeah?
good. We're kind of sliding into the, part of the year where everybody's kind of figuring out what they did, what they're going to do, maybe start planning for the next year already. Although the fishing, as you had on you guys' trip, is still incredible.
Yeah.
And so, this is the kind of time of the year we always talk about how guys put away their tackle.
Right.
But the fishing actually, for some parts, is as good or better than it's been all year. So, definitely don't put your tackle away yet. There's still a lot of good fishing.
Right.
Especially in the offshore scene. Some squid showing up in some of the areas. I know that I saw a report off the Betty G. I know they did really good the other day on some yellowtail.
Really?
Yeah, I think Captain Aaron was on running that trip as a relief.
Aaron Graham?
Aaron Graham, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing, I don't know if he was a relief on the trip or he was just helping out the guys there. So I saw some nice pictures, some big yellowtail there.
Yeah.
There's some squid popping up here and there. And so, other things might be kind of getting better as well, too. I know that I saw your morning briefing about how some of the boats are having a little harder time this morning.
Yes.
Or today or yesterday.
Last couple days, yeah.
But, as we know with this moon cycle stuff, usually...
That's a real deal, right?
Yeah, it only knocks it down for a moment and then we're back on.
And I'm thinking that's what it is, and I'm got my fingers crossed because Friday night I'm on the horizon, and the weather forecast is just got me stoked because it's beautiful. Should be really, really good.
Especially after what you just got off of.
Yeah. But it's funny, man. Every single time
Picks you up there.
we have some crummy weather with the fish bite.
Fish bite, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's always been the case to a degree. I mean, you always want great weather and great catching fish, but I will say that it's pretty hard to say that we haven't had a lot of good fishing in rough weather as well, especially tuna fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's definitely not uncommon.
So, guys, I'll be taking your questions about the 5-day trip I had on the Independence. Had a great time. Beautiful boat, lots of fun, great people. Anybody out there that's tuning in that was on the trip, it'd be great to talk to you. And then, Sam, you've got a huge trip coming up, right, on the horizon?
On the Royal Star.
Yes, on the horizon, meaning
it's
very,
coming
very
up.
close.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
on the horizon, on the Royal Star.
On the Royal Star.
Totally
yes.
confused everybody.
Because you have a trip on the horizon.
Correct.
But yeah, coming up, it's a trip we've been doing here since we've opened the shop. The guys on the Royal Star have been so good to me over the years. I've been running trips with them for probably 20 years now or something like that. And sounds crazy, but this is an 11-day, and it's been a great trip. I mean, we've had variety fishing. It's kind of like the name of the game. And over the years, we've got everything from, everything you could think of, Dorado, tuna, yellowtail, grouper, big tuna, wahoo, and in every single way, yellowtail, surface iron yellowtail, dropper loop yellowtail, yo-yo yellowtail, the tuna, same thing where we've caught them, that ridge, what we call ridge yellowtail, 20 to 50 pounds, all you can get, which is I think kind of what you guys had, where you catch as many as you want.
Yeah.
And then we've had, everything else, Dorado and kelp patties where they just go crazy. Wahoo, great fishing. Over the years, we've had a couple years there where we got them like really good. I mean, a couple of us on the trip got a whole limit, meaning 15. And so that's pretty hard to do for you guys that have been on those kind of trips. You guys know that catching a bunch of wahoo is not that easy. And then the big tuna as well. We've had exposure to that the last couple of years. We've gone down to the potato bank and had some success there. I got a nice one last year, but I think two years ago we got a bunch on the trip, and so we'll see how that comes to play this year. But overall, been a great trip. Always look forward to it.
Man, that sounds like so much fun. I can't wait to hear more and more about that. All right, Isaac says, second time is the charm. Good evening, guys. Hey, Isaac, it's always good to see you from you. Eric Nations is on the Freedom right now.
All right.
Checking in with us. Eric, man, it's good to see you. 7 bluefin, slow day. Another slow one. It's been slow here recently. I think it's that full moon funk. I mean, that moon is big.
It's big, yeah.
And who knows if that exerts more adverse or bad,
Pressure or
whatever.
yeah.
But I think you're right, Ray. I mean, because we've seen this several times this year. I mean, throughout the years you see it, but really pronounced this year, where you get into that full moon, bite goes down, everybody's like, oh, it's over, and boom, it comes roaring back. Pick a day. What day is it going to come roaring back? I've already picked mine. Really?
Tomorrow, yeah.
I'm going.
I don't know, it's hard to say.
I'm going with Thursday.
I think
but
sometimes that moon thing too. It's going to be full every 20 days, I guess, right? I mean, so we get a new moon.
Yeah.
But I think also too, it could be maybe it's like where it's at. I mean, in conjunction to like the skies. Sometimes it's lower, higher.
Yeah.
That type of thing. At the full moon. So I'm pretty sure maybe that matters too. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, and I mean, it was. Did you see it last night? It was gorgeous, man. It was beautiful.
Yeah. It's just right on ET. I remember that's what I mean.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Waiting for a bicycle with it. Yeah, exactly. This morning when I went out to do the morning briefing, man, I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly. It was still. Yeah, it was beautiful. By the way, you said I'm a better guest than a host. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but what are you talking about so we can give my kids a little plug?
Well, pretty low bar on the host part of it, but yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
But no, I was telling Phil that I was watching the Bass Bros, his kids' YouTube channel this morning, and I saw that Phil was a guest on there. So I put it on while I was kind of getting the store ready, and I was telling him about how impressed I was about his being a guest. Obviously they have a history together and things like that, but if you guys haven't seen that episode, I don't know if it just came on today.
Came on, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check out that Bass Bros, it was a pretty cool episode. It was cool watching Phil tell some of those stories that I hear about all the time when guys are in here, and so I've heard a lot of those stories, but it was cool to watch them, and he did a really good job as a
Thank
guest
you.
there. Yeah,
I didn't have to pay you that. All I have to do is buy you chicken wings
I would
tonight,
say
right?
I was pretty impressed.
I'm glad. Yeah, we got to talk about some stuff that I normally don't talk about because, I normally don't get interviewed. So we talked about some time in Costa Rica and Mexico how I got started in the business. And with the kids, it was a lot of fun. That's Bass Bros, BASSBROS on YouTube. Check it out. I'll be uploading that same show onto Friedman Adventures on Thursday, I believe. So if you want to wait for that, great. But go to the kids, and that would be fantastic. Robert Graber, good evening, Phil and Sam, and the Friedman Adventures family. Much more fun watching you than the Raiders losing. The Raiders are losing again.
Oh, man.
Are you a Raiders fan?
I kind of grew up a Raiders fan. I mean, I don't follow them as much as I used to, but it's been hard to be a Raiders fan my whole life.
Yeah, I know, right?
Not in the beginning. When I was a kid, it was the days of Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, so that was kind of cool when you were a kid and your home team was winning all the time. But they're not really the home team anymore. So
I know, they jumped around there in Oakland, L.A.
Yeah, kind of lost a little favor for them, but still want those guys to win. But I'm sure they're not winning right now.
There was a couple guys for the Oakland Raiders. I can't remember their names, but Mark Paisano was telling me that one of the guys, can't remember his name, used to come out fishing all the time. And he said when he first came out, he knew nothing about fishing. And he said he tutored the guy a little bit. He said he was so athletic that he picked up casting and in one day, the guy was throwing an iron like 600 feet and he picked it up so fast and then fell in love with it. So I have to ask Paisano who that was again. Yeah, that was.
Get him on the show.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Got to get Brian Shaw down here one of these days. I know he'd have fun in here. Hey, Isaac says, happy Halloween. Yeah, we got our Halloween stuff. And Dia de los Muertos is November 1st and 2nd. 2nd is a big day. 1st is Dia de los Inocentes, for those of you guys who know all about that. Jeff Yeomans, 540 Slinger. Jeff, always good to see you. Says, good evening, Phil and Sam. Emmanuel Navedo from Florida.
Wow, cool.
Love him. He's a great guy. Finally going on my first bluefin tuna trip. on the 2nd for 3 days on the Legend. I have a heavy setup and a medium setup with 65-pound braid. Should I rent a fly line rod? Emmanuel, all my best to you in Florida. When I get over there, I'm going to come visit you, my friend.
Yeah, my recommendation is, probably rent something else. Maybe something with 50-pound braid. They probably have something like that for rent. That way you have two, kind of like something you're going to set up fluorocarbon with 25, and maybe they're 65-pound. You'll set that up with 40-pound. And then you said you have one big heavy setup. So I think you'd be pretty covered with those three. I also wanted to kind of catch up a couple of questions on our first part of the show that.
Oh, there were some guys
There was a question there.
Good, thank you.
Guy asking about a
before you screwed up the whole thing, you mean?
Yeah, I know. Guy asking about a fly line rig, 30 or 40-pound test, whether a star drag reel or a lever drag reel would be better, 2-speed reel. And the short answer is get the 2-speed. For the reason being is if you're only going to have one, at some point that 30 or 40-pound setup might be something you're going to be using to target fish at up to 100 pounds. And so, do you need 2-speed for 30 or 40-pound all the time? No. But if you're only going to have one and do an offshore trip, that might come into play. If it was going to be something you were only going to use for sea bass and yellows and rockfish, no, you don't need to have a 2-speed for that. But for anything else, I would. And then I think Isaac there was asking for a rod for a Trinidad 20, not just a surface iron rod. All around. So anything 8 foot, rated either 20 to 50 or 30 to 60, that reel is pretty versatile. You can fish 25, 30, 40-pound test on it. And so that's the kind of rod I would recommend. Something 8 foot, 20 to 50, probably going to be your most versatile, kind of like leaning in to more your live bait. Once you get into the jig, though, probably more of a 30 to 60, especially if you're going to want to do any kind of yo-yo fishing with it.
All right, good stuff. And the Legend, man. Have you fished on the Legend with Steve Taft?
No.
I haven't either, but I heard, I was mentioning this, I think I was talking to Danny on his show, and I was mentioning that guys on the Independence, who it was, might have been even Ed, were saying, man, great guy, really super nice guy, fishes hard, always catch fish with him when it's when it's possible.
I fished that one time, a long time ago, with, what was the guy that owned that boat before? Back there 25
Oh, you're talking about
ago.
Sean Trowbridge?
Sean Trowbridge, yeah. Yeah, I think once I fished on
Bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Emmanuel, we wish you all the very best of luck on that trip. David says, good evening, Phil and Sam. Penn Fathom 2-speeds do not come with a spool adjustment. What kind of modifications can I do for better fly lining?
Practice. It really is the only thing. I mean, I know that there's some magnet systems out there that sometimes people put on like surf casting stuff, but I think that really kind of more applies more to a star drag reel, and it may have something to do with the way the spool is set up inside the reel. So I don't really think there's not much you can do to customize that reel to help you with fly lining. All I can say is practice, man. I mean, that's something that over the years, I'm sure you agree, the guy who can fly line better is going to get more bites.
Yeah.
So do the best you can do to fly line, and that's about the best I can tell you.
And honestly, like on this last trip, practicing, that's a great admonition to everybody, but I saw some guys on the grade we were catching, probably nothing over 40, using a spinning reel. And they were getting bit over and over and over because they were outcasting even the guys that are really good with a spinning reel.
Yep. And also, too, with a spinning reel, that you have an advantage is that especially if you haven't been doing it for a long time, if you've been doing it forever, a lot of captains will outcast anybody, but you can also underhand cast a bait.
That's what this one guy was doing.
Yeah, and that's going to give you a little bit better presentation as well. And that kind of fish, I mean, we were just talking about, a 2-speed reel for a 30 or 40-pound test. I'm pretty sure if it's pretty predictable, if you start getting a bunch of 80, 90-pounders, that spinning reel is going to get really tested, as far as us being able to land a fish. But putting a bait in the right spot and getting it out away from the boat, that spinning reel is going to be hard to beat, especially if you're only targeting fish 20 to 40 pounds, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, right.
And you're going to get more bites and have more fun.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, hit that like button, everybody. Don't forget, you can join us this Friday night on board the Horizon, a day-and-a-half trip, $495, includes all your meals. I'll be there shooting a video. You can book that trip at horizoncharters.com. And hit that like button, please. Emmanuel, by the way, good question, David. Emmanuel said, or should he just change his leader material on his medium rod? Remember, he's the guy, should I rent an extra rod?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an option to do that. It's just a matter of, it does slow you down as you're trying to make those changes. Also, too, is and it's the same thing. You can adjust all that, but it's nice to have it to where they're already set up. And then also too is if you wanted to do a sinker rig, you can keep the sinker tied on as well. But you can definitely just change it around. As long as that reel, that 65 pound, you got a good amount on there. And as long as you got, I would say 350 yards, 400 yards, you'll probably be fine. You can definitely make it happen. Do you need to have it to catch fish? No, it just makes it a little more convenient.
Hey, tomorrow's Halloween. Are you doing anything for Halloween?
Yeah, we're taking the kids out to.
Do you dress up?
To the in-laws. I might this year. I'm
yeah?
not sure.
What are you going to be?
I'm not sure, but actually, me and my wife went to a Halloween party, and I was the Chavo del Ocho. I don't know if you're familiar with.
No.
So this is kind of an old Mexican.
What is it?
Character.
Yeah.
Chavo del Ocho. I mean, you have to look him up.
Yeah.
So,
surprised I missed that.
Yeah. You thought you had it all.
Yeah, I did.
It was pretty dang popular too. So I'm very surprised you missed it.
Yes, I am.
He's been around since the 70s. So yeah.
So what is it? A character or
it's
what?
It's a character, yeah. It's a childhood character.
Yeah.
But you look him up. It's kind of not really.
¿Cómo se escribe eso?
We'll look it up later.
Okay.
Chavo, Chavo del Ocho.
Chavo del Ocho. Okay.
Okay, we'll look it up later.
Yes, please.
And so yeah, I might do that. I don't know, but
you're gonna be Chavo del Ocho
yeah,
or Chavo la Loco.
If I dress up. So, so the main thing here is that it's my brother-in-law's kid's first Halloween. So we're probably going to be out there with that family and kind of enjoy the holiday with them.
Yeah, that'll be fun, right? Do you like Halloween as a festival?
Yeah, it's cool. Especially that I have the kids.
The kids.
Diego and Luna, 8, 9 years old. My wife loves Halloween.
Really?
Adriana, she loves it. She loves decorating and dressing up and all that kind of stuff. So we're definitely going to be celebrating it tomorrow.
It was pretty fun in China. Anytime you're teaching kids, well, I mean, anytime candy's involved, they're really eager to learn. So it's fun teaching Western festivals and culture to Chinese kids. It was fun. It's scaring the hell out of everybody. I got everybody in that school. All right, Scott Buchert. Hey, a moment of silence right now for the crew on the Red Rooster 3.
Always going to be on a 9-day.
Scott is going to be on the Red Rooster 3 tomorrow on a 9-day trip. So please, everybody, keep the crew in your thoughts and prayers. Hopefully they'll be able to sustain 9 days with Scott Buchert. Not many people can. I've managed to hang in there for about 20 years with 86,000 phone calls every single day. And I love it. I live for it. I wouldn't know what to do without it.
What kind of bets do you have on it? What's the over-under on the Wahoo count for him?
For Scott?
For Scott, yeah, because he's ready now.
All right. Over-under on the Wahoo count for Scott. You can put your guess in there. I like this.
Yeah.
3.
What do you guys think? 3?
I'm saying 3.
All right.
What do you say? Over or under? Under?
Yeah. Wahoo are hard to catch. In a 9-day, I mean, a 9-day is not a bad amount of time, but I would say under 3 for lure caught fish, but maybe over 3 total.
All right.
So you might get a couple of troll fish or something like that, which I don't really count.
Yeah.
Because, you can get those in bunches sometimes.
Yes.
So we'll go under 3. So
Okay.
Catch two on a rod and reel, with the jig, and maybe 2 more trolling.
All right. His over-under on yellowfin tuna is
40.
No, hold on. No,
Good.
but you don't know Scott. He tangles everybody.
He might catch 2
I'm going to say
at
a
a time.
dozen. Over or under?
Over.
Really?
For sure.
Scott, you better come through here.
Easily.
All right. Dorado over/under is 20.
However many. Well, you can only keep so many, but he'll catch a bunch.
That's right. Oh, yeah, you can only keep 6.
Yeah.
That's right. Mexico.
Yeah.
All right. He's got that. That's
no
one I'll
problem.
give
That's
him.
no problem.
All right. All right, very good. That sounds like fun. I'm glad you brought that up, man. All right, Joe says, what's up, Phil and Sam? Too much work and enough playtime. Glad I made the show. Always good to see you guys. Joe, it's great to see you. Robert Graber, Raiders down 9-0 to the Lions, second quarter, getting their little butts kicked. Notre Dame had to squeak by Pittsburgh. Very tough game, 58-7.
Pittsburgh's like dead last in there.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Yeah, they're bad. They're right there with USC.
It's them and then Notre Dame, right?
Yeah. All right, let's see. Kim Herbert. Kim is watching from Southwest Missouri. 36 degrees, expecting frost. Kim, you must look at me when I'm out on that beach in the morning and it's like 71 degrees, and I'm going, it's a little chilly out here. You must go, this is wimpy.
It's getting into the 60s almost.
Yeah. Wimpy Southern Californian. Sniper G, Sam, Do you know if any manufacturer makes a longer arm and handle for an Abbott SX Raptor 2-speed reel?
So I think on that one there, I'm pretty dang sure that you can put the handle from like an HX on there. You know, you can put the one even from the HX Raptor, but it's got a pretty giant knob. So I don't know if you would want that on there. But I would think that the larger Abbott reels handles will fit on there. And also I believe Tiburon makes a replacement handle for them. I don't know how much longer it is, but I think those two would be a little longer than your stock Raptor handle.
Andrew says, hey, heading to San Felipe on December the 5th, rented a house 7 days. Oh, man, Andrew.
Doing it right.
I'm on my way with you, man. On the playa, and 1112 Tony Reyes driving old truck through Calico. Fingers crossed. Yeah, you'll be fine.
It'll be fine. You have a good time, man.
Yeah, it won't be fine. Calexico, I think, is what you're saying. Mexicali,
Yeah,
maybe you're going
probably
through
right.
there, and that's the way to do it. Have you been to San Felipe?
I haven't.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool little town. Yeah, I went there with my kids, and we actually went in to a restaurant, and we're having all this shrimp and eating all this food. We had no idea where we're going to stay. Typical. We just like, we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the waitress says, hey, I overheard you guys talking about a hotel. And we go, yeah, is there anything? She goes, well, we have like 3 rooms in the restaurant.
Huh.
And they're available. And I go, oh, really? Like, how much is it? Is it like $20? Or,
Yeah.
And perfect, man.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't anything opulent, or I don't need that.
Right, $20.
But all I can tell you is the air conditioning. It was like a meat locker in there. And so it was perfect. This was like
Yeah,
193
okay,
degrees
okay.
outside, and we had a ball. And then so you wake up in the morning, you're in the restaurant, kind
yeah.
of, and the coffee's brewing. Oh, good. You know, can I get a cup? And
Yeah.
it was great. So good times. All right. Let's see. Joe says, going to chase some bluefin on the Monterey Bay Wednesday.
Oh.
Been getting
Yeah.
a few up here. Fort Bragg is on fire with the Mad Max slow trolling live. Max on the downrigger has been working up here. All right, that sounds good,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Joe,
been
get
hot, man. Super hot. Those guys are getting 200-pounders.
it's amazing, huh?
And right close too. I think they're like, I don't know, 5 to 10 miles out. In
Jeez.
fact, just this past week, we sent, now it's 3 50 internationals, 2 big heavy rods, a bunch of Mad Max. The guys are getting them up there, full speed, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good fishing up there.
Excellent.
Big fish.
I wish you the best of luck, Joe. Hope you get them. Hit that like button, everybody. Andrew says, do you have any recommendations for any local guys for servicing older Saltigas?
Yeah, we do that. You know, the only thing you're going to run into is that if you have a part of the reel, like a frame or spool or something that's very integral, you may have a hard time finding the parts. You know, they haven't made them in a while. But we do them all the time. We do carry the replacement drags and all the replacement bearings. And so you should be able to get fixed up on that. We usually turn those around pretty quick, a couple weeks at the most. And it's no problem here. So it shouldn't have an issue with that.
All right, Trippin' Tommy, fly lining is all about bait presentation. You must handle the bait very gently and a soft, easy underhand pitch. That is all very sage advice. Agree?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yep.
Why? I mean, if somebody's out there going, well, what difference does an underhand cast make? Maybe you could explain that.
So one of the ideas, I mean, and a lot of it has to do with your bait quality to begin with. Especially on these longer trips, typically you have very, very good bait. Where, I mean, 3/4 of the baits that you see in the live well, in the hand well, are going to be good. Normally we always talk about picking a good bait and picking the one you can't catch and things like that. Well, oftentimes you're on a long range boat and they're all really good. So when they're like that, you can overhand cast, you can fish heavy line, big hooks, and the bait is able to pull all that through the water. And that's why we have that kind of bait on those long trips, because they have to make that long voyage down to New Mexico. Where I think the cutoff, and I don't really know this to be fact, but it's been kind of told to me, that I think when your trip is less than 3 days, so anything 2.5 days or less, you're not getting the same amount of cure time on your bait in the receiver. So there's different wells in the receiver that the bait's been cured for a longer time. And the reason that they do that is that they're trying to basically make that bait stronger so that when these boats are going 9, 10, 11 days, 12 days down the Baja coast, is that the bait can survive on the boat. And so that bait needs to be cured as best as possible. Now, sometimes the conditions inside the harbor or not very good, so the bait doesn't cure as good. So you never know what you're actually going to get, but that's the whole idea. And I think what he's talking about, which is very true, sometimes you get on the boat and the bait isn't all that great. You look on and you're still going to get the best bait possible, but it's not like the primo bait. Well, now you got to do your best to not hurt that bait even more. And so the idea is that when you overhand cast, especially if you're just new at it, you're going to overhand cast and that bait starts going, 50 miles an hour. And if you just don't make a nice soft cast, it's going to slam onto the water. Whereas if you underhand cast, the bait's going to be a lot lower to the water and not have that same effect, so that when it lands, it's almost like it goes like that, and you kind of stop its motion and then it'll land like that.
Yeah.
Is the idea. So especially when you have tough bait, small bait, things that just bait is not in very good condition to begin with, that's not a bad idea to do that. So and also too, like he's saying, especially when the bait's already tough, it's going to lose its scales real easily. A very, very strong, healthy bait, the scales just stay on it better, and this has a slime coat. It's just very, very healthy, so you can kind of hold it a little harder. You almost have to, because it's going to be livelier. But with this other bait that's a little weaker, if you go to squeeze it real hard, you're going to take off half its scales, which, as I saw one time, Franklin Pressey has this one video on fishing bait that the scales is like the chocolate outside of a candy bar. If you keep that stuff intact, it's going to be like candy to a bait, to a predator, your yellowfin tuna or something like that. You take all that stuff off, well, you're kind of taking all the good stuff, at least what attracts that bite. So it's very important to try to not knock off so many scales. And you'll see a lot of guys' rods in the rack are full of scales. Well, you can kind of tell the guys that are having a harder time with their bait handling. And so I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's almost like if you're calmer yourself, when you go grab the bait out of the bait well, it just doesn't wiggle around as much, If you're real excited and you grab the thing and you're trying to hook the thing like that, and the thing's wriggling in your hand, you're holding it tighter and tighter because it's trying to get out of your hand, you're just going to mess that thing up. So you really almost want to kind of like cradle it, and you're going to hold it, and it'll stay in your hand, pretty easily. And you really only hold it with maybe your pinky, and then maybe your pointer finger, and you should be able to bait it, put it on the hook pretty easily. So that's the main thing, that when you're going to be handling the bait, try to be as easy and soft as you can, and then you do that underhand cast. That's going to help even more. So
all right, well, since we're on this topic, let's deep dive a little bit more, and let's mention to everybody out there,
I think we're at the bottom already.
Pretty much. Pretty much. If a bait jumps out of your hand and it's on the deck, I see some guys running over there to pick it up and use it. No. Once that happens, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? It's over with.
I mean, 99% of the time. There are those times where fish are, fast and furious.
Yeah.
We're talking
you're gonna get a bite on anything.
You're gonna get a bite on anything.
Yeah.
So yes and no. It really depends on that situation. Sometimes, you're fishing out there and you can't get a bite. That's gonna be one of the things for sure. It falls on the deck. Just kick it out and start over. And I know it sucks because you probably took 5 or 6 minutes to pick that bait.
That was the bait.
But and one of the things you can do to help do that, eliminate that to a degree, and you have to do it quickly because you got someone behind you, is try to hook the bait right over in the hand well. Instead of grabbing the bait and then walking away and trying to hook it out, at the rail or something like that. Hook it right in the hand well, and it might take a little while, and you have to be kind of aware of somebody that's kind of their turn. Now you got your bait, let them get their bait. But at the same time, once you get quick at it, it'll happen right away. So try to do it right there. Almost your hand is almost touching the water, of the bait tank there, or the bait well, the hand well. And so you got your hook in your hand already. So that's another thing too. As you're coming up to the bait tank, you're going to have your hook in your hand.
So you carry your rod to the bait tank.
Yep.
Because with some guys, that's an issue, right? They don't want you doing that. Most guys, like Tom Rothman on the Polar Spring, would say, no, bring your rod. I don't want your rod left unattended over there.
Sure, no, because that thing's going to get knocked over.
Just be aware of the guy up there chumming. And
So there is a way to hold it. I almost have to hold the rod here, but...
Well, let's do it.
I'm not sure what's going to show up.
That's why I'll do a commercial.
Do a commercial.
Don't forget about our trip Friday night on board the Horizon. You're going to want to join us. It's going to be a great day and a half trip. I know fishing is slow right now, but this full moon is going to wear off. We've got a forecast for flat, calm seas, and all this yellowfin tuna and bluefin tuna dorado is going to bite this weekend. You mark my words. Well, I'm not exactly sure about that, but I'm betting that that's going to happen. If you'd like to join us, you can sign up for that great day and a half trip by going to horizoncharters.com. Don't forget Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. They offer great customer service up there. You've got Tucker McCombs on the Endeavor, Cody Rogers on the Island Spirit, Steve Virtue on the California. Those are great guys, great skippers, and they have great crews who, whether you're a novice angler or an expert, you'll be able to walk on board and enjoy your time on there. Make sure you do that. And visit Bass Bros on YouTube. I did a very special show with my two boys, Philip and Patrick, and it was really, really a lot of fun. Oh, you're doing it back there?
Well, I have to, so they'll see what I'm doing.
And now, here's Sam De La Torre.
So this is not exactly a tuna rod, but that's all I had kind of tied up already with the
I like that hook on there, man.
So this, not the size hook we're using, but this is going to be what I'm tied on to be able to show. If I showed a small little size 4 bait hook, you wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. But one of the things you're going to want to do is that as you're walking up to the bait tank, you know, your hook's going to be almost down to the end of the rod. And the reason being is you want to have a little bit of mobility, but between the end of the rod and where your reel is at is kind of where it's going to go. You have your rod in gear, and you're going to hold it kind of right next to your body in the crook of your arm here, just like that. So you're going to hold that there, and whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you're going to come up to the bait tank. And usually, I'll actually grab the bait with my right hand, kind of go like that, and then I'll end up, if I'm nose hooking, I'll have it to where it's just sticking, the nose of the bait sticking out, and I can hook it that way.
Yep.
Or I'm going to belly hook, and I'll go this way like that, you know.
Yep.
But holding that in your hand, even as you're going, you don't want it down by the reel, because what's going to happen is you're going to be fishing around with both hands, and then now you got to kind of go down there and grab the hook off the rod, and then
the bait's in your hand, losing scales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also just have the rod sitting on the deck, just kind of rested against you, but you want to kind of have it like that. You don't want it against the bait tank because it's going to get knocked over. It'll kind of be in your way.
Yeah.
So you want it out of your way like that, and point it kind of behind you a little bit. Like Phil was saying, you don't want it to be where it's going to injure the crew member there on the bait tank. But so if you have it on the deck, usually I'll have it up here even, kind of like that. And then that way too, you're going to shorten the amount of line that's out there, so that once you do hook your bait, it's kind of already almost at the length that you're going to cast. But you want it to be at the very least down by the reel, like that. That's kind of my general motion that I'm taking. And I'll hold the rod like that, kind of lean over the bait tank, grab my bait, hook it, and then now I'm going back to the rail, ready to go. Once I hook the bait, I'm going to let it go. So I hook it, I don't leave it kind of like in my hand. Once I hook the thing, I kind of let it go like that. Make sure my tip's not wrapped up, and I get ready to cast as I'm walking back to the rail. So
All right, great explanation.
that's basically how it works.
Nose hook, belly hook. How about back hook? Do you like a back hook bait ever? Do you ever do that?
I do that once in a while.
Yeah, I think your microphone's on backwards.
It's on backwards. Is there? It's a circle. How can it be backwards?
Oh, yeah, because that's the speaker down there. That's what picks up your voice. No one's complaining, so I think you're okay, but what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with these damn things?
No, so the speaker, if it's good, we're good. Don't worry
I don't
about
think
it.
anybody's mentioned it.
Yes, thank you.
Only one person has.
Yes, the guy that can't hear it.
Yeah. But that's the basic kind of like motion that I'm taking when I'm hooking a bait, and then gonna walk to the bait tank and then walk into the rail.
All right, good. That was a great explanation.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time where don't bring your rod to the bait tank. Guys used to scream that 30 years ago. And Tom Rothery was just, no, bring your rod here. Just be careful. Well, we don't want any unattended rods, because all of a sudden a guy's coming down with a hot rail and there's your rod laying there. You're up looking for a bait and he can't get around it. Or
I almost guarantee, no matter what boat you're on, unless it's like super flat, calm like a lake, I almost guarantee that thing's going to fall over. So
yeah,
it's going to cause more problems. Yeah, just be careful as you're going up to the bait tank. And I think that had a lot more to do with, in the days of barracuda fishing and things like that, guys would lean the rod on the rail, and so now you had all these rods that were pointed right at a crew member.
Yeah.
And so that's what you didn't want to do. But, also too, possibly if you got a boat with 60 or 70 people on a half-day boat, the last thing you want to do is cause congestion at the bait tank. So I think you wanted people to just go grab their bait and get and walk back to the rail. But if you're quick, you should be able to do that and get out of there real quick.
Excellent. Trippin' Tommy, look what you started, man. Great question. Thank you so much. Andrew says 9. So I'm guessing 9 yellowfin.
9 yellowfin?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Wahoo.
Maybe 9 what? No, nobody would think Scott's going to get 9
Why
what.
not?
Scott disappeared. He told me he has not packed any of his clothing. He's been procrastinating.
Oh, wow.
So who knows what he's doing.
And
All right.
leaving tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Halibut Man Mitchell, good to see you, my friend. Head's looking extra shiny today, Phil. Well, I did shave.
And you showered.
Yeah, I showered.
Yeah.
You know, I do that once a week at least. And what else? Carnivore diet. Yeah, your skin, you know, it's beaming.
Glows.
Yeah, absolutely. Those ribeyes. Thank you guys for taking the time to give us the fishing lowdown. Mitchell, we always enjoy seeing you here with my shiny head just for you. Boatman, have not been fishing in 2 years. Halibut Man says, well, Boatman, we'll need to fix that.
Yeah.
Carlos Mosquera, who is a super cool guy. Carlos, man, come on, let's have lunch or do something one of these days. I miss seeing you. Good evening, Jets. Sam, do you have any CalStar 196 8 blanks in stock? Phil said we're for sure going to be catching albacore next year. Carlos is right. I haven't even made my albacore prediction yet for next year.
For next year?
Yeah, and Carlos, for some reason, Carlos thinks I'm going to say there's going to be albacore again. I wonder where he gets that
You're
from.
pretty much on the hook until they come, I think. Every year.
You know what?
What
yeah.
else are you going to do?
The year that I throw the towel
Let it
in,
ride,
I'm
let it
thinking
ride.
about like next year. I'm done with this.
No
It'll
way.
be wide open.
What's the over-under on that?
that I don't do anything?
Yeah, right.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero chance.
But I think I do have that blank in stock. I actually might even have it behind me here. There's a whole bunch of CalStar blanks here, but yeah, that's a pretty popular albacore blank, and I'm pretty sure I got it. If you're really looking for it, give me a call in the morning, and I'll let you know. But I'm pretty sure I do have it.
All right, Carlos, come down and see Sam. Boatman has lakefront property. Live free dive. You just walk out and cast a rod out there, man. Then you're fishing. Live free, dive free. Evening, Sam. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, my friend. Robert Graber, Raiders are down 16-7 at halftime. Albert Ponce is down there in beautiful Rosarito, man. I wish I were there. He's got a great, comfortable, giant place, man. It's really, really nice. I've been there. And I got to come down there and see you, Albert, one of these days. There's another guy I need to have lunch with. All right, Mitchell, can't wait. Couple more days, and I'm heading to Ocean Pacifica for Dungeness crabs. So,
Very good.
yeah, I think you're doing are you doing fishing and crabbing? Or
Combo trip, they call it? I think?
maybe, yeah. Speaking of that, you know, those combo trips like the Gale Force runs, those are great trips. Fish rockfish or maybe some bass during the day and then load up on the lobster. And Catalina has been so hot on lobster, man.
Pretty guaranteed. It seems like everyone's.
Seems like it, right?
Yeah, they're all getting, close to limits, so that's pretty good. You get 7 lobsters to bring home.
Yeah, because those things are
Yeah.
$50 a pound now.
Yeah.
So what does an average lobster weigh? It got to be a pound and a half,
yeah,
right? A couple
yeah.
pounds.
Yeah.
So 14 pounds.
14, yeah.
Sounds like $700 to
Yeah.
me. What? Really?
Pretty good, and it's fresh too, so
And that's one person.
that's one person.
So if you
yeah.
had 10 people who caught their limit and it came out to 2, you'd have $7,000.
in lobster. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
freaking amazing, isn't it?
It's pretty good right now, I guess. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's not always like that, but
No,
it's
I
pretty good
know.
right now. Yeah.
I know, that's pretty darn amazing. All right, I love it, man. $7,000 in lobster.
That's for 10 people. Yeah.
Yes, I know. All right. Yeah, I remember my lobster trap in the motor at La Bufadora, man. You know, I did all I could to not go, ah!
$7,000 outboard for you. Yeah.
Some thought we were going to be on the beach dead. With people like, at least there was going to be plenty of
Yeah,
video.
you're going to be on the news.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
there was 6,000 guys going, these guys are screwed, just filming us. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, it's on Freeman Adventures YouTube channel. We lost our engine about 2 feet from a blowhole off the coast of Ensenada, Baja California, and we were going in there. Man, it was harrowing and comical at the same time, if that's possible. Using oars, throwing anchors over, trying to cut this illegal lobster trap out of our prop. It was pretty funny. And it's all on video. If you ever want to see a grown man cry, check it out. All right, Carlos says, thank you to you. Kim Herbert says, I like to splash water on the swivel from the bait well to wet the line. It lets the line flow off when casting a live bait.
Yeah, that's a pretty good tip right there. I mean, I'm a pretty big jig casting guy. And sometimes people look at me weird, you know. So you're getting ready, you're going out, and you kind of get into the spot, and you know the boat's pretty much, you know, they say, okay, we're gonna look at this spot or here. You know, they haven't really got set up yet, but they're slowing the boat down. I'll go back to the bait tank there and splash a whole bunch of water on. They're like, man, you're putting all that salt water on. They're like, well, you're gonna get a bunch of.
You're gonna get it on anyway.
Yeah, your line's gonna be in the water, but yeah, I'll go ahead and just scoop, you know, 5 or 6 scoops of that water right onto the line, and that way your first cast isn't dry. And so after a few casts, you're going to have line on your water on your line, but if you don't start off that way, that first cast can be a doozy. So yeah, it's a great idea.
Do you do anything for Christmas, like in terms of certificates? Can I get a $50 certificate here at Island Fishing Tqckle and give it to a loved one? Or
yeah.
I was curious about that.
Pretty common, actually. We usually get them right on Christmas Eve when everyone's giving up.
Oh, yeah, like what?
What am I going to get Uncle Joe? You know, yeah, it's like, that's it, man. Just go down here. They come down here, they're like, they don't know what they're looking at. So we always recommend, if you don't know, if he's a regular customer here and you know that he's from the area, we have actually these gift cards. They're pretty nice, and we sell tons of them for the holidays. And even some of the guys, what they do is that they'll have their family. Let's say the guy wants to get a brand new reel, a $600 reel. You know, nobody's going to buy him a $600 reel, so they'll pitch in. So they'll have the family come in. They each get them whatever, $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's the way he gets his reel.
That's
Christmas.
cool.
Yeah, so that happens pretty often too. So I'll get maybe 10 or 15 different guys that the family will come in. I see them once a year, and it's like, oh, for Uncle Joe here, we got his gift card. We get him every year, and usually they'll get a T-shirt or something that's easy to pick because they know the size. But yeah, they come in here, they get overwhelmed. They're like, I don't know what I'm looking at, you know. Right. And more often than not, they're probably going to buy him something either he doesn't need or he already has. Yeah. And so yeah, gift card are pretty easy. We sell a ton of them.
That is great. Okay, and that's a nice segue into our Christmas party, which I know you're going to be there with the kids.
I'm already there.
December the 2nd, the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Make your plans to be there. All you got to do is send me a text, 657-227-6459. We've got a great bunch of people there like Sam De La Torre. Think about it. Spending Christmas with Sam, sitting there, drinking an eggnog, talking about the great 2023 year. Could there be anything?
Is it going to be a live show there?
Better than that? Well, yeah, I think there should be now.
Maybe.
I hadn't planned on that. Yes, we're going to do a live. We'll just stream the whole thing live.
Well, I'll be back for my 11-day by then.
You will?
Talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So Sam will be supplying lots of fish. And
yeah, for sure.
It'll be fantastic.
No
really?
problem, yeah.
There you are.
Easy.
We'll have fish. We'll have poke.
I can supply right now.
There you are. Yeah, really? Oh, good. Because I didn't bring any to my wife from the last trip. I might grab some for you. Oh, me more. Look, I forgot I did have this saved for you, sweetheart. All right, let's see. Jason Lawler says, what's up? You know Jason Lawler?
Yes, I do.
You do, man? The galley chef.
Galley chef.
On board the Amigo.
Yeah.
We used to go over and visit him at his restaurant.
Oh, man, I missed that place.
Me
man.
too.
Oh, that place was so good.
Shobes, Long Beach, right?
Yeah. The one in Torrance, I guess, but they're related, or if they are.
Yeah, I think they are, but Jason.
Man, the food was like, oh my gosh.
Food was great, and Jason's such a fun guy that I totally enjoyed going there.
And I know Jason would kind of go all out for us when we go there, but I can only imagine the food on the boat must be great.
You know, Eddie Leland has passed away, but I remember a very special day there, and Eddie was pretty sick, but man, they made ceviche, and Eddie was having such a ball, and it was just a memorable time. I had to drag him out, you know, going, come on, Eddie, let's go. And so, yeah, I remember that very well. By the way, his memorial service, everybody, and you're all invited if you'd like to show up. It's November the 11th from 4 in the afternoon until 8 p.m. at All Souls Cemetery in Long Beach, California. I will definitely be there. All right, Albert Ponce, anytime, brother, just say when, and you're always welcome. Going to Rosarito. All right, Albert, I'm going to take you up on that, man.
Go do some perch fishing over there, probably.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, he catches them right in front of his place. He was doing really well on that. Isaac, 19 bucks a super chat. We really appreciate your support. It's what keeps Sam and I nourished after such an arduous show. Sam and I, are we going to do chicken wings?
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
We got it now.
Isaac, you should come over. And where the heck is Dan and Michael Limon, man? All you guys should join us one of these nights.
Cold out there.
Is it? Yeah. You tell the guy in Montana or wherever he is. 32 below zero. All right, Mitchell says, it's for a breast cancer fundraiser. It's snaring on the beach. All right, he's going up north. That is sounds like a great event. Isaac's reading our mind, man. He says chicken wings tonight. And And he says, thank you. Thanks again, Phil, for a great 5-day trip. JC, that is John Colas. And John couldn't have been a nicer guy. John, I'm looking right at
on
you.
the trip?
Do you know him?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
he's
my
a great
God.
guy, yeah.
What a super nice
Yeah.
guy. John, thank you so much for being so nice throughout that trip. He's an outstanding fisherman. He's there to help others, you know, always helping others. In fact, he loves Dorado, and his wife loves Dorado. So, I mean, I watched him going, hey, did you get enough yellowfin tuna? Oh, man, you know, oh, here you go. You know, he just was handing people fish. Very, very generous guy, gentleman. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun following you around with the camera. I'm a little late on the edit on that show, but I should have it in the next 48 hours. Don't hold me to that. Yeah, I'll get it done. Man, I mean, I shot a ton of 5 days
Yeah, I bet.
with 8-hour drifts every day. I'm like, oh my God, I got
Somebody
700.
hooked something already.
700 scenes to edit.
yeah.
So, JC, great to see you, man, and really, really, really wonderful. Jason says, I'm going to miss Eddie's memorial. We have an open party, 1.5 day. He will be in my thoughts out there. That's all you can ask, Jason. Carry Eddie in your heart. That is for sure. You know, the Friedman Adventures family, one thing, I was talking to Eddie's wife the other day, Sue, and she goes, man, those people, they sent so many Christmas cards. Did I tell you this? Or so his daughter, Heather, came to me and she goes, what do you think about just putting an announcement out there, send Dad no, it was his birthday, I think. Send Dad a birthday card. Hey, let's try it. He got hundreds of cards.
Wow.
He got to the point where he was like waiting for the mail to come. And then she put them all up and she said, I don't know who these people are that are following you, but there's an awful lot of good people. She said every single person wrote a lengthy, fight hard, you got this, you know, trying to encourage him. And man, that says a lot about those people out there. Love it.
Right there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Current Jam, Phil, don't trust a keto fart, brother. Oh, yeah, I know what he means. How about a carnivore fart? How about that? So let's talk about the 5-day trip just for a second. Have you done a 5-day trip?
Yeah.
I was a little hesitant, A, because we had weather, B, because I was wondering to myself, man, where are we going to go? I mean, you can't go to Guadalupe anymore. You can't go to Cedros anymore. Although I see some guys are doing that. Did you see that?
Yeah, the rooster. Yeah. I'm not sure how they were arranging it, but yeah, I think the one coming up here, a 9-day, they're going to be doing the same too. One of the guys called me actually to kind of pick my brain about what to take down there, what extra tackle on their trip. But I guess they're going to be going. They're charging them ahead, and so they got the money when they get down there, so they're paying them to take them out. And they meet them out on the boat. They're not going onto the island, but they're meeting them out somewhere. I'm not sure where. And they take the guys off the boat, go fishing all day, and then they bring them back. Yeah, so you're sleeping on the boat and everything like that. So
that seems to solve a lot of problems.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Well, I mean,
the Mexicans are making some money now. They're happy to see the American guys coming down.
Truth be told, some of those lodges are American owned.
Right.
And so I got to imagine there's got to be some eyes looking at that situation there. I really don't really know for sure, but I wouldn't think that after all they've done, I mean, basically that, they didn't want the sport boats going in there and fish, but technically they're not. It's still the pangas. It's just that they're using another way of getting onto the pangas.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, you're right. I don't think it should really matter, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's something that I was talking with another customer the other day, and I can see it kind of working out in a way if they had maybe 2 or 3 trips out of the year, kind of like those skiff trips used to be,
Right.
Because you have a couple things going on. Is depending on the time of year, you would think that they have to kind of like get that contracted, well before the trip, right? You can't just show up and say, hey,
we need 18 pangas.
Yeah, it's not like a taxi or something, right? And so then you have that going on first. So now you have to contend with the idea that, getting down there, weather, things like that, you're going to have to pay this money ahead of time. And what if you get down there and they're like, giant bluefin are biting at the Tanner, and now you got to say, well, no, we can't go over there.
Yeah.
We got this situation that we scheduled already. Or what if you're on a 9-day trip and the wahoo are biting full speed at Alejos?
Yeah.
And now you say, well,
you've already paid, you're booked.
So there's a few things where I'm like, it sounds good right now that the fishing is kind of tough here local.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, let's go down there and catch fish. But it's just a convenient thing for that specific trip, So, and then what if you don't want to fish on the panga? You know,
Yeah.
what if you're a guy that has, that just can't get around too good or something
Right,
like that?
and that's why you're going on a long range
And that's
boat.
why you're on a big boat, because that's going to be your accommodations. You just can't fish on a ponga. So it may also exclude somebody. So I mean, there's definitely some wrinkles to it, but by and large, most of the guys that go on long range, they can fish on a ponga, no problem. And so it is a cool opportunity. And I know those guys that have done it, I'm sure have had some really, really good fishing. And it's just a different experience. And, they've probably already caught yellowtail somewhere else down the coast or at Alejos or something like that. So it isn't like you're going to catch something you wouldn't normally catch, but it's just that ponga experience. I mean, I still think I would do it if it was me, but I can see where somebody possibly wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I know this next trip that's going out, they're also doing it. Yeah.
So is that what is Scott on? He's on the Spirit of Adventure.
He's on the Rooster.
No, he's on the Rooster.
Yeah, I think so. He might be doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's the trip. Yeah.
So can we take a moment of silence for the Mexican
Now
pongeros?
So
Because
we may
they're going to get stuck with Scott
this may
too.
be the last trip where they do this.
Yeah, this is it. As a matter,
this might be the last trip.
Scott Bucher will put a halt to Mexican-American relations for a century at least.
We need to make a few phone calls and kind of curb that a little bit. Yeah,
He's obviously not watching because he'd be like, "What are you talking
chiming
about?"
in on that. Yeah.
I think you're right. All right, well maybe we'll get some exclusive Scott Bucher video.
Yeah.
That's possible, right?
It's anything is possible.
Yeah, like hitting the lottery. That's
Yeah,
possible.
It's possible.
Yeah. All right, Current Jam says, this is my first winter in San Diego. Wondering how long the season is for private boaters with smaller boats. Man, that's different every single year, right, Sam?
I mean, it depends on what you're going to call the season. I mean,
That's right.
Tuna fishing and what you have as a smaller boat. But that tuna fishing, I mean, it's still going on. I don't see any reason why it's not going to be around another month. But there's other fish to catch on there. San Diego has kind of a unique opportunity with that La Jolla kelp line. They were catching yellowtail the other day on the half-day boat. So sometimes you get that wintertime yellowtail down there.
Oh, those La Jolla fish? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're big, man. They're
Big
eating the
ones.
heavy string.
Yep. And then sometimes you'll get those fish down there, those sea bass that'll get on those squid nests down there, And then, depending on your boat and how big it is, you can go fish the Coronados, and you can fish shallow water rock cod over there.
Yeah.
And places like that, maybe down the coast. So for San Diego, you almost have a year-round season. As far as the tuna is concerned, that stuff sometimes eventually does go away. But for right now, I don't see anything. I don't see it ending for at least another month. So,
I don't think so,
as
do
far as
you?
the tuna is concerned.
So, how will I'll kill you. No. How will our Horizon trip? We're leaving Friday night.
This
The
Friday
weather's flat calm. We got Ricky Perez, I
it's
think,
gonna be
running.
good.
It is?
Yeah.
I think so, right?
I don't see any reason. I mean, yeah, we have a little lull right now.
Yeah.
But I would imagine by Thursday morning, you're going to have guys catching fish, and you'll be speaking a different tune, I think, and more excited.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Trip was leaving tonight. I'd probably be a little more concerned.
I'd definitely be concerned.
But I think by Friday, for sure, I can't see it changing that much.
All right, fingers crossed, man. I'm hoping that's going to be the case. And once again, on all these trips, you've got to be bringing some lighter, floral, and then right on up to the heavy stuff.
Yeah, everything from 25-pound to 100-pound.
All right, very good. Jason says, pics look like pongas were taking the guys off the boat to fish. Yeah, that's definitely what they were doing, right? Mm-hmm. Oops, I missed JC, who's our buddy, and Tony. Oh, well, hold on a minute. Let me see. Yeah, all right. Tony says, good evening, Tony. Great to see you here, my friend. JC, Sam, what's the deal with the new UC RPG 76 HP?
RGP, yeah.
And RGP 76 Wahoo?
So I think those are two rods that they kind of put in between their in their lineup there. As United Composites, it's still kind of a new company. I mean, the brand's been around for a long time, but Randy has been making a lot of progress with it in building rods, as well as the blanks. So those are just two blanks that I think he's adding to that. I think those are to the GP line. That GP line is his newest line of rods, something that actually didn't exist before Randy came around. And he's about maybe 10 or 12 models deep at this point.
Yeah.
But as we all know, that's not that many when you're talking about a whole line of rods. So he's just kind of rounding out some sizes, and I can't imagine him not continuing that line. And up to now, it's been because it's the newest one. It's been the most popular line. So I think that 76 HP. I think we got one in here actually. I'll have to go check it out. It is going to be like a 50-pound rod, 60-pound rod, and then that Wahoo's probably also like a 60-pound. Let me see if I can go grab them.
Yeah, do that. I'll do some commercials. Hey, hit that like button, everybody, if you don't mind. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. If you haven't subscribed to Friedman Adventures, you can do that right now. And this Friday night, we're on the Horizon day-and-a-half trip. Should be a light load. Should be a lot of fun. HorizonCharters.com, November the 3rd. That is Friday night. We depart at 7 p.m. We're back in Sunday morning. HorizonCharters.com. Make sure you join us. I'll be there. Sam De La Torre won't, but what can I say?
I won't be there.
All right, JC, good question, and Sam's here with the goods.
76 HP is rated 30 to 60, and that the 76 Wahoo 40 to 80. So another thing too, being 7.5 foot, most of his other rods that he has in the line are all 8 foot. I think in that 7.5 foot, all he had was the Predator, and which is a heavier rod, like a 50 to 100. So he's just kind of adding the lighter rods. And I don't see any reason to even add more lighter rods than this, because, especially now, all of our fishing we're fishing with is 25, 30-pound test. So as you can see, the fishing changes year to year, and that's what usually brings out these new products, is that, well, this year they're biting this, so we have this product. Next year they're going to bite something else. So I can't see him not adding even more rods, but those are the two rods. They're great looking rods, and if you're looking for a 40, 50, 60-pound rod, these are great.
Puts out some awfully good product, right?
Still U.S. made, right here in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
That's something that's pretty rare, especially in the fishing industry. Anything U.S. made, number one, and number two, it's right here in Southern California. Almost L.A., Orange County based.
Yep.
You just don't have that anymore. Back in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of manufacturing that was done here, but not too much anymore.
Right.
Especially on the rods. The rods just require so much labor to assemble them that it's just hard to do that. And Randy's been able to do that. He's a humble guy. We've asked him to try to be on the show, but I know that he's kind of shy about it. But for the guys that know him, he's a super hardworking guy.
Yeah.
One of the smartest guys ever been around in the rod business.
Yep.
He's been around it for a long time, and his product just shows. He's always making great products.
Real gentleman. Randy, all our best to you too. Great question. All right, Joe says, Phil, thanks for letting us reach out to Eddie. I'm sure it lifted his spirits in a downtime in his life. I'm happy we sent the cards to him. He is and always will be a warrior in my eyes. Thank you, Joe. And the reason I mentioned that, by the way, was to give thanks to guys like Joe, who took the time out of their busy days to write it, go get a card, write it, mail it, all that stuff. People don't do that anymore, know? Right. And so, Joe, thank you so much. And I know you speak on behalf of so many others who helped us with that. Jason Lawler, the boat in the pics looked really nice. Tony, this past October 17th, I was on the Freedom. All morning was slow with a handful of yellowfin tuna. The captain made a move around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we came across a small patty, and it was loaded with Dorado between 8 and 15 pounds. Man, those days are so special when you think, all right,
it's done.
It's over. It was nice, it was great fishing with you, but we suck, and we're not going to catch anything, and then
bam.
Boom, right? You go from boredom to mayhem.
Especially Dorado, man. Those things jumping around everywhere, and those things are fun, man. Dorado kind of like are a target species for many of us, because one, we don't catch them all the time, but two, they're just a blast, at times they'll bite everything in the water, at times they don't bite anything in the water. You see a whole school down, they don't bite anything, but when they go wide open like that, they're a blast, man. It's a fun fish to fish for.
Totally. We had a couple of stops like that on the Independence, and they're fun, man. They're acrobatic and they're beautiful, and everybody's excited, and it's really, really fun.
Tony, good too.
Yeah, they do. I remember that day, Tony. By the way, and Tony went on to say they had U.S. limits. I think they had like 200, something like that, or maybe I forget. Whatever.
I think I've seen that picture. The back of the day, like loaded.
It was times 10, whatever it was. So what a great one. All right, very, very good. J.S. Sam's points on the concerns are valid reasons to object them. Simply said, more rules are not good in this case.
I don't know, what was I talking about?
It might be the Pongas, or?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, J.S. You may want to remind Sam and I. Sometimes in the chat, the question, or your question comes a little bit later. We're on to another subject. So, hey, Puck You is here. I've been dying to say Puck You to you all night long. Thank God I haven't slipped on that right now. And actually, the PH is pronounced a little differently, but we're going to leave it at Puck You. Looking forward to meeting you on the Horizon Friday.
There you go.
Oh, man, I hope I get a Puck You shirt. Come on. Hey, looking forward to meeting you too, my friend. If you say Puck You to me in mixed company, whisper it, please. Rick Slater, are there any party boats in Ensenada anymore? Yeah.
There is still?
Yeah. I mean, I was over there walking around the downtown area, or where that downtown marina is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sergio's got some stuff over there, and his brother Sammy.
Well, they have like charter boats.
They've got six packs, but they also had some. Most of them look like they were harbor crews now, but they had like those old Gordo 1, Gordo 2, Gordo 3.
Ensenada.
Remember those? Yeah, Ensenada. I don't see that there anymore. I don't know where that is.
Not sure.
I think they do. It looked like they did. Or at least you could charter one if you wanted to do that. Okay. And I think I've told you that the first string's in the yard down in Ensenada being repaired. I think that guy's going to use that for eco tours or whale watches or something like that. But the first string is alive and well in Ensenada, Baja California.
Back in the day, that was a common thing. People would go down there to fish on that Ensenada clipper and stuff like that for either yellowtail or for albacore when they were around. But it's been a long time since I hear people talking about that.
Did you ever fish on those rigs?
I never did.
I did. That was fun, man. I caught the biggest freaking halibut of my life down there, like 35 pounds or something. I took I was throwing a jig for barracuda or yellowtail, can't remember which. And I'll tell you, I got a whole funny story here. I was throwing, and I got a bird's nest. I'm like, God darn it, and then I go like, oh, great, now I'm snagged on kelp, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a giant, the worst cast of my life. Come up with a big halibut. I'll tell you something else that's funny. My dad did not drink. I never saw him drink. And so I get in from this trip. I can't even remember who I was with. And the girl at the sport fishing thing says, hey, Felipe, your father is borracho. And I go, oh, excuse me?
Wrong guy, yeah.
She goes, he's borracho. And I'm going, no, my dad, he doesn't. I mean, I've never seen him drink. Are you serious? He must be, where is he? He must be sick. And so I find him, and there he is in Ensenada. I go, Dad, what's going on with you? And he goes, I went for a margarita, and I think that guy put a little too much tequila. So he was completely 3 sheets to the wind. I've never seen him that way before. And I remember he's like vomiting on the side of the road out of the car when this nice Mexican family is walking by, mother, father, kids, and I just see the guy look over, and I know what he's like, damn gringos. So it was really funny, but that was my biggest halibut ever. We had some fun times down there. One of the best times, John Klein, Qualifier 105, Flynn Robinson, Los Angeles Lakers. We took 100 orphan kids in the morning fishing on the Ensenada. I think it was the Ensenada Clipper, and then 100 in the afternoon. We had so much fun. Sam, you would have died. Flynn Robinson is talking to this girl in the galley. She's 15. And Flynn is saying, how old are you? And she goes, 15. And he goes, why can't you say? And she goes, 15. And he goes, oh, I don't understand. Why can't you say it? And I didn't butt in for like 15 minutes. I just let that play out. It was so cute. 15 is 15, in case you don't speak Spanish. And he thought she was saying, can't say.
Yeah.
But we had a magical time. And I remember Patrick being a little kid and helping all the kids. And talk about a bitching thing, man.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that was really, really a lot of fun. All right, Robert Graber. Man, he's giving us the football updates. Raiders D gets a pick six. I guess. Yeah, pick six to get us closer early in the third, 13-16. Now, you guys are still more fun. Love you, Robert. 14-16. Daniel Lightfoot, it's about time. This is Michael. We just got done with her game, and we won.
All right.
How was the show? It's going good. Michael, I was talking about you guys. Why aren't you here to eat ribs or wings with us or whatever we're going to eat tonight?
You have to eat your wings, Mike.
Yeah, really. You got to show up. Puck U says he's going to make me a shirt with a Sharpie pen. I'm good with that, man. Just be nice, whatever you do. I'm good with that. LA Exotics, can a 400-sized Iowa Lexa handle a schoolie-sized tuna?
No problem. No problem at all. Yeah.
Fácil.
Yeah, no problem at all.
It is? No problem?
No problem. I'd say tuna up to 50 pounds. Pretty common those reels have caught. The question really is it, the best thing for it? No. Although at times I could say it'll probably fly line a bait pretty good. But eating that fish from between 15 to 40 pounds, I'd see no problem with it. You know, catch 100 fish. But you get into something like 60, 70 pounds, which isn't really a schoolie fish, but sometimes they're mixed in, is that you might see your reel maybe not work as good as you first started. But school tuna, 15 to 40 pounds, I think you'd have no problem to catch 50 in a row. No problem.
All right, very good. Hey, hit that like button, everybody. Thanks for being here with Sam and I tonight. Hello, Friedman Adventures family, says Ken Trenholm. Great guy. Can't wait to see everyone on the trip Friday. Let's get limits for Eddie. Well, Sam De La Torre has predicted a really great trip, Ken. And
You're going to get him.
You think?
Yeah.
Be honest now.
You're going to get him.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I think so, too.
Because we got all kinds of options. I mean, there's fish south. It's a little bit out of range of the full day guys. You've been seeing like the San Diego, the Sea Watch, the Liberty. All those guys are having tough times right now. I talked to Sean Hardigan about it because he runs the Mission Bell, and he goes, yeah, it's just moved out of our range a little bit. But he goes, there's good fishing in overnight and day and a half. And I go, well, I got a trip Friday night. He goes, oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You're good.
I
And
think
so,
especially the weather.
Yeah.
You don't have anything that's closed, really, you know?
Right.
You know, so I think wherever it's happened, you guys will be able to go.
We got Tanner Cortez, we got down the beach, and then if that 43 were to rejuve again, I think we're good,
good there
man.
too,
Fingers are crossed. All right, LA Exotics. There's Alexa that's like $280 and one that's like $400. Is the more expensive one worth it?
There's a couple features on it that are nice. It's really, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to catch a bigger fish, but it is a newer reel. I think maybe talking about the Alexa T-Wing, and there's a few features on it that are kind of nice, but I don't think it has anything different on it that's going to catch you a bigger fish. That $280 one will catch the same size fish. The other one is a reel that maybe I think has a nicer handle. There's also the T-Wing is a feature that does allow you to cast a little bit better because it opens up the hole basically that the line's going through the guide. And overall is a smaller body as well. So it's a nicer reel for sure. It's not really a stronger reel, more of a nicer, more comfortable reel.
Sam, does the stores keep the same hours in the wintertime, or do you reduce your hours here?
No, we kind of keep it the same. You know,
Yeah.
we kind of drew a line down the middle. Before we used to do the same, you know, how you're saying we'd have a summer schedule and winter schedule. In the summer schedule, we were open a little bit earlier, closed a little bit later. Then in the winter, we were, you know, had shorter hours. But we kind of drew a line down the middle and made it an easy way to, even for us to kind of schedule our employees. We make it an 8-hour day, and so we can just have one guy work all day long type of thing. So for that reason as well, we just kind of kept it as an easy schedule to keep. But you know, for guys that need to take care of something a little early or a little late, I mean, it's very common that a guy will call me, you know, a week before he's coming down from Northern California or something like that. Hey, you know, I'm going to be passing by, but I'm going to pass by at 8:30 in the morning. You know, can you guys help us out? And I'll come in early, not scheduled, but if you call me ahead of time, usually we can take care of you. And then late is real common. You know, guys just getting off of work. It's like, hey man, it's 5:45. It says I'm going to be there at 6:10. Can you guys wait? We'll always wait. So
Yeah.
because we know, you know, you're trying to get ready for a trip or something like that. So pretty common that we stay late for guys, but you just call us ahead. We'll take care of you. But as far as our posted hours, 10 to 6, Monday through Saturday is kind of where we're going to keep it for right now. There's a chance we may open up on Sundays, you know, maybe in the summertime or something like that.
You're thinking about doing that?
Maybe, you know, because we do have a lot of guys who always complain about that. That's their day off as well, so that's the day they can shop.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Yeah.
Because you got to get a day off once in a while.
Right. So that's the big thing, you know, is I have to be able to have a family day. So right now that's Sunday, but we'll see how the summer goes, and you know, maybe that'll be a day that me and Diego can work or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna come forward here. You know, he'll be 10 years old next summer.
Oh, great.
So you know, we're getting to that age where he can do a little bit more.
Absolutely,
So,
man. And he'll love that.
Yeah, he likes it. So we'll have to see how that goes.
So let's give some respect and adulation to Andrew, who was
Yes.
on the cover of Western Outdoor
Once
News,
again.
right? An employee here.
Yeah.
Great, super polite kid. I love Andrew.
Yeah, he's kind of like what we would think the poster child of a tackle shop employee. You know, for me, you know, he's very knowledgeable, fresh and saltwater. You know, rigging. You know, but the only thing that he hasn't really gotten into, he's really resistant about the rod building thing. But he's he's pretty knowledgeable about the parts and things like that. He just doesn't do it. But he is a trout ace. You know, it's kind of his thing. You know, he has all the high-end trout gear, and he goes out. Especially this is his time of year. You know, when we get all the trout plants and all that stuff. He's been going up to the high Sierras, and he had a great weekend. He got a whole bunch of like 6 to 9 pounders. You know, big trout, and he got on the cover of the Western Outdoor News. He was on there I think in the springtime, around the time of the Fed Hall, even I think.
Yeah.
He was on there again on the cover, which I mean, most guys I've never even been in the magazine, you know, but he got on there again, and it was a great picture. I know if you guys get a chance to see the Western Outdoor News.
Yeah, it's a great photo.
Awesome photo, yeah. So
he was at Convict Lake, I think.
Convict Lake, yeah, getting it done. He's gone up there a bunch of times already, targeting that 10-pounder. You know, everybody wants, just like calico bass is like a 10-pound trout.
Yeah.
But he's an ace though. That guy gets him, and he's the kind of guy that says, "Well, I got like, 9 or 10 between 6 and 8 pounds." I'm like, "Wow, that sounds kind of slow for a weekend." You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I got like another 200, little ones, something like that. It's like you have to weed through the little ones to get the big ones. But yeah, he's a great trout fisherman. He's kind of got it wired. He knows where all the trout plants are going to take place. From where the trout are coming. Even today, he was talking to me. I'm like, man, this guy's really into it. He knows all the trout plants. What do they call where they grow them? The hatcheries.
Yeah, right.
He's knowledgeable about the different hatcheries and their health and kind of what kind of trout are they producing. So I mean, that guy's on it, man. He's
good kid.
Not going to be the kind of guy who's going to tell you, okay, stand here and you're going to be guaranteed to catch a fish, because he knows there's more to it. But as far as offering advice, he's a great asset to the store, because especially you get that father-son that just kind of wants a little bit of help. Man,
yeah.
He gets them on the right road.
Oh, man, I can see that. He's
so... He loves doing it.
Yeah.
He loves doing it.
And
he's a good guy.
Very, very likable person.
Super
I always
polite.
look forward to seeing him.
Yeah.
Matt, not so much. No, I'm only kidding. Matt, I'm kidding. Matt will get angry with me, so I want to be clear that I'm kidding. All right, that's it. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about that. Rick Slater, Penn Squitter versus a Jig Master. Sam.
Yeah, probably a Jig Master. It's going to be a bigger reel, more versatile. But that Squitter, it's like today's Lexa. It's a kind of reel that people used to think that wasn't able to do much. But the really, really good fishermen had a Squitter. It had ball bearings. It was smaller, so it casted a light bait better. So it's definitely more of a fly line reel. The Jig Master is kind of you do everything. As a crew member, you kind of, if you're going to have one reel, it's going to be a Jig Master, because you could throw a bait, throw a jig, rockfish with it, yo-yo with it. But that Squitter was kind of your go-to finesse reel of the day. Nowadays, there's a lot better reels, but if you almost have to have both. But if I was going to choose one, I think it'd be a Jig Master.
All right, very good. LA Exotics. I think the Lexa is my next reel. I had 0 saltwater setups in July, and now I already have 3. Rest in peace, my bank account. But it was
start at 3, man. I mean, wait till you get to 33.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, by the way, the surf fight has been really good here, man. A guy named Noli Yan Jr., you know him, right?
Noli, yeah.
He was fishing in the dark. He said before the sun even came, with the moonlight, he had some really nice big yellowfin croaker. God darn it. I should do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
I should do that tomorrow.
Start talking about what's wrong with you. We won't ever we'll get no wings.
Yeah, really. What time do they close? Midnight?
I know, huh?
Yeah, we'll go way beyond that. Let's not talk about that. Chuck Zimmer, Chuck, president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. It's good to see you here. Chuck, how we doing, fellas? Looking at an electric reel for rockfish, do they make similar styles? I've seen some Daiwa smaller ones overseas.
So the smallest one that I think that they're still going to be making is going to be that Daiwa 500 Tanacom. It's still not a tiny reel. I know that overseas they do make some smaller reels. That stuff might be coming over, in the coming years. But for right now, that Daiwa 500 is the smallest that they make. Unfortunately, they're out of stock. They've been out of stock for some time. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's a computer chip thing or something. I'm not really sure why. But I know we have a bunch of them on back order. So hopefully they'll come in some time, because whenever they do come in, they go right away.
Yeah.
That smaller one is convenient because it'll take, I believe it takes a smaller battery, because it's smaller, it's less load and all that kind of thing. So they're definitely a lot more convenient for rock fishing. But yeah, most of the ones that are even available now are the larger ones that you're going to maybe use for the kite or for just deeper fishing. But I know overseas they make smaller ones, but they unfortunately are not something that we can get over here.
And do you have any electric reels here?
We do. We do. The ones we have are the bigger ones, like the Tqckle 800 and the 1000, which is like the size of a 9.0. It's a pretty big size reel, but it's really
That's not what he's after?
That's not what he's talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, the reels that we have are going to be more for like the private boater, who's going to have it just hooked up to their boat battery, and then fish like 1,000 feet or something like that for that black cod, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we have those covered pretty good, but unfortunately, the small ones are just out of stock at the moment.
All right, very good. Victor Contreras says, hi, guys. And Kim Herbert says, Penn Squitter will let you back reel.
Oh, yeah. So they had a function on that Penn Squitter where you can
That's right.
suppress
Click.
the anti-reverse. And so you can, instead of using your drag, you would put the handle and turn it backwards to let the fish have some line.
Yeah.
So not many people use that. It's kind of a fly reel type action or whatever. But yeah, that is kind of a feature that they had. It's kind of weird.
All right, Big Duke 10 says, speaking of trout, are you going to get more freshwater trout stuff in the shop, Sam De La Torre?
Not sure when the last time you came in, but we are pretty loaded. We got a whole bunch, maybe 30 or 40 trout size reels, 1,000 size reels from Daiwa the other day. So we're stocked up on that, everything from your $35 reel all the way up to your $300 reel. We got a full complement of their nice trout rods as well, everything from their like $50, $60 stuff to their like $200 stuff. A bunch of mini jigs, small hooks, all the dough bait, all of that trout stuff. We're looking pretty good at the moment. So if you haven't been here for a while, you'd be pretty surprised. Some of it we kind of had put away for the summer, so we brought it back out. But we're looking pretty good, and along with all of our bass stuff too. We kind of freshwater bass stuff. We've kind of built that stuff up. We got a whole bunch of Lucky Crafts over there. Some of the robo worms, Senkos, things like that. The basic stuff. Some stuff like that. So on the bass stuff, I'm positive we don't have anything near what the major bass shops have. But on the trout stuff, I think we can hold our own. We do have a good selection of rods and reels and some mini jigs, small baits, those power worms and mice tails, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of a regular thing on the lake. So we got you covered. Come on down.
Do you like fishing for trucha?
I haven't really done it.
Yeah.
But
You've done a little bit of it, or
no,
what?
never.
You've never trout fished?
Never trout
I've
fished.
actually fished more trout than you. That blows me away because I don't even.
But I want to do it this year, just to get, better versed in it. Also, too, maybe something I can take Diego and Luna and go fishing with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, run over to Santa Ana River Lakes or
like that.
or go to some more picturesque.
Yeah, exactly.
Parts
Probably
of,
something more like that. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe go to Diamond Valley. I don't know, somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's something I want to do. I haven't done. So when I do it, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I would like that, man. I've done a little bit, over there at Santa Ana River Lakes. One time I was with my brother Paul. I believe the lake was called Siskiyou near Shasta.
Okay.
And I remember, excuse me, I'm getting all choked up about this. It was so exciting. Him and I were throwing like these little chrome lures. And Sam, it was frigging wide open. So it was like catching barracuda or something. Yeah. And we had an absolute ball doing it. And we were the only two schmucks there in this gorgeous scenery. It was so much fun. We really had a good time. So
that's part of that trout fishing too, is you get to see some of that, California, we're always living in the city, and Santa Ana River Lakes is pretty good fishing because it's kind of like all, the planted trout, and you can kind of go when they plant them and all that stuff. But some of these local lakes, we kind of forget that, California has a great wilderness and great outdoors, so it'd be an opportunity to go check that out too. And the kids just like that too, just kind of being outdoors and seeing a cool place like that.
Big Duke Tennis, thrilled to death that you got all that good freshwater stuff. So I'm sure you'll see him here soon. Carlos, hey guys, how much is the new Tqckle 500?
I think they're $600. $600. And I think the Tqckle 500, they haven't changed it. So they changed a few of the other models, the 750 that they had. That's the one that's kind of turned into the 800. And then the 1000 is also new as well. They've changed it. It's got this round body instead of the kind of egg-shaped body. With that 500, I think they kept it the same. Whenever they're available again, we'll have them in stock again. I'll post a picture when we get them in, but I don't think they've changed that one at all.
What is your favorite horror movie? This is a question from me. Do you have one, or do you like those kind of
No,
movies?
I'm not really a big like. Like,
So did you watch like Halloween when you were a
Yeah, I've
kid,
seen all
or
that stuff, Freddy
slasher?
Krueger
Do you like
stuff.
slasher movies?
not really.
I don't either.
I'm not into it. I mean, I don't mind them. They were fun, but I wasn't really ever.
I'll
into
tell
it,
you what. So I go to the movies a lot, but I
Okay.
avoid that stuff. I saw the previews for Saw 10.
Okay.
It looked freaking off. I mean, it looked like probably well done, but it looked like all this torture and all this crap
Yeah.
going on. So Patrick told me he went and saw it. He goes, "I almost threw up, Dad. I had to get out of there. It was terrifying watching this. So I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
a
like
big fan of it.
action
Yeah,
movies, where the good guy kind of wins.
Yeah, where there's a story or something. I mean, those
Yeah.
have stories too, but
Yeah, they do.
it's I don't know. I've never really been into them that much.
I was going to go see the new Exorcist. Did you see the old Exorcist?
Yeah.
Okay. Did
That's
that
pretty
scare
crazy.
you when
Yeah,
you were a
I
kid?
mean, it was pretty
Scared
crazy.
the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
People I remember the reports, people
was
were
a big
running
deal.
out of the theaters
Yep.
and having heart attacks and everything. And so the new one has the mother, Ellen Bernstein.
Okay.
She's in it, and she meets, in the preview, she meets the demon, and the demon, it's a little kid, but it's, and she looks at the guy next to her and goes, "Oh, we've met before."
Oh.
So I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I like
Yeah,
that."
comedy,
Then
yeah.
I read the reviews, and it just sucked. So I didn't go see it. Anybody out there who's seen it? But I'll tell you, the worst freaking movie I've ever seen, I don't know how I got on this, Expendables, whatever it was, 4, 5, 6, with Stallone, and
Yeah.
what a crappy movie. I was seriously thinking about walking out, and then I'm like, whatever,
yeah.
I'll just stay and watch the end of this crap. All right, Sam, this is our friend Jeff Yeomans. Jeff, always good to see you here. Sam, what pound braid would you recommend for a reel that would be used to fish 20 to 25 pound fluoro top shots?
Normally we're using 40 and 50 pound. 30 pound is also something you can use for that. The only thing with a 30 pound, and it depends on the brand and how many strands it has and things like that, is you start becoming a little bit susceptible to tangles and losing the fight in the tangle, or also even get rubbed on the boat. So that 40 or 50 pound is going to allow you a little bit more latitude for things you can't control like that. And so even though a 30 pound will probably work most of the time, I like more 40 and 50 just because you can pull a little harder. And if you get into a situation where you just can't dig that fish out of, maybe getting in the props or the rudder or something like that in the running gear down there, you probably stand a little bit better chance of not getting broke off there too. So that's the way I would go.
All right, don't forget to go to Bass Bros on YouTube. Sam says the interview I did was fantastic. Of course he's going to say that, right? I won't buy him.
It was a good one.
I'm not going to buy you chicken wings if you don't.
I'd tell you the opposite for sure. I
know.
actually would look more forward to that. So it was more like, oh yeah, that thing was great.
Man, this guy keeps me humble, let me
Yeah.
tell you. So Sam said it was good, and I enjoyed doing it. And give the kids a view over there. I think you'll enjoy it. And subscribe to Bass Bros, BASSBROS. Got a red logo there's a couple Bass Bros, I think. And subscribe and check that out. I think you're going to like it. All right, back to our friend Chuck Zimmer, the president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. For really deep rock fishing, should you use pretty heavy braid or lighter to cut the current better?
Definitely lighter. Back before we used to use a lot of 80 pound braid because we were using like a bigger reel. You use that bigger reel for kind of cranking power. But nowadays these small reels have so much cranking power that I'd rather use that. 30 or 40 pound braid is pretty common. You're not really dealing with as many tangles at times, and not really dealing with the fish that's going to get you under the boat or things like that. So definitely go with a lighter braid. Something with like let's say a Saltis 20, something like that with 30 pound braid would be great. And even the rod, you might go with like a lighter jigging rod or something like that. I actually enjoy fishing them that way a lot more because you can get down faster, and realistically a big rockfish is a 5 pounder, so you're not really dealing with big giant fish, you need a heavy rod for. So my recommendation is even like a bass rod or something like that, whatever your lightest rod that you have, and maybe even a bait caster, but something with maybe a bigger handle because you still have to crank up that dead weight. But a 30 or 40 pound braid would be great. 30 pounds is probably what I would recommend, yeah. And that's going to get you down, like he says, to cut the current, and that's really the reason we need weight, a lot of weight sometimes, is that the current's strong or the drift is real fast, and you just need that extra weight to be able to hold down your line. And if you're using thinner line, you could go with less weight. So that's what I would do for sure.
All right, awesome stuff. Hey, a guy that I totally love, it's Travis Bright. Travis, it's so good to see you. I should have guessed you'd be on the Horizon trip. He's on all our trips, and he's a fantastic guy. He's saying 20 to 100-pound setups, knife jigs, 200 to 500 grams. Thanks, guys. I would say yes, right?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, small hooks, too. Make sure you have
That's so
small
true.
hooks. Yeah, that's going to be probably something that guys forget, but take some size 4 Mutus or even small J hooks, you know what I mean, like a size 2 or size 1 J hook or something like that. Make sure you got that. And also make sure that they're a small hook with a kind of a medium wire, not light wire, but not the heavy wire, but kind of something in the middle.
Yeah, because the light can straighten out on you, and the heavy doesn't get bit as well.
Right.
Is that right?
Right. Yeah, so that's become kind of confusing. We have so many options and hooks
I know.
these days, but that's a good thing too. That's why we get more bites. You know, you have these different levels of adjustment that you can make, and take a look at your hooks and make sure you have some kind of medium wire live bait hooks. And
Travis participated in a surf fishing tournament that Patrick put on last weekend up there in Camarillo, or in Carpinteria, I think. Mm-hmm. Hey, Travis, that's great. I'm glad you attended that. Did you win anything in the raffle? I hope you got something good. That would be great. Omar is joining us. He says, good evening, guys. Is the Phoenix Access 780X heavy or 2H too stiff for a 60-pound bait fly line?
No, not at all. And actually, it's not even that stiff of a rod. It's a nice rod. It actually has kind of a moderate tip, but it's a fast action rod still. I think it's rated 40 to 100. So I think you'd be right in line. You know, sometimes when we start getting into this heavier line, your rod's just going to get stiffer. You know, I mean, to be able to achieve the line class and the pulling power that you need for a 60-pound test. Because 60-pound, you can pull, I mean, damn near as hard as you can. You're just not going to break it.
Yeah, right.
You know, so you need a rod that has some backbone to it. So, in general, you know, you don't want to look at a 30-pound rod and say, well, I'm fishing 60-pound. I want to tip like my 30-pound rod. You just can't have both. You can't have a tip that light like you would on a 30-pound rod and still be able to pull like you can with 60-pound tests. So, but no, that rod would be just fine for 60-pound fly line.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Omar. Great question. Hey, come on, get us up to 50 likes, everybody. We're at 48 right now. Who's going to push us up over 50? Rick Slater says, you two knuckleheads are up against the Raiders and the World Series.
And that's a good series right now, I think.
Is it? We're going to go find out in a second.
I know.
Yeah. And we're still doing good. Lots of people watching this. They want a feeling of positivity and all your knowledge, Sam. What can I say, man?
I don't know.
I think it's great. I got an answer about pin reels for filler and got a great answer from Sam. Thank you both. Current is against you. He's talking about those games, the games, I guess, right? Hey, man, we got a lot of people watching, and Rick, you're one of them, and we thank you very, very much. You know, we could kind of end this thing. We've been going an hour and a half. Yeah. I can't believe it. I hate to end it, but
I do want to make
one
comment. You know, the guys that won all those hooks.
Yeah, did they ever come in?
You know, they didn't. There was the one guy, I can't remember his name right now, that one at the end there when I was speaking into the phone when I was walking away.
Yeah.
He did contact me. I saw, you know, I don't know how I missed it, but I did see it the other day. He emailed me, so I'm going to get back to him about mailing him his hooks. But, you know,
he lives far away?
Yeah, he lives in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So you guys, if you guys don't want them, that's cool. We'll give them away on another trip. Another show or something like that. But I know the season's kind of over for some of that big tuna, you know, that maybe those guys are not really wanting.
You know, that guy that you're talking about in San Diego, maybe, I mean, if he wants to walk down to the Horizon on Friday at 6 o'clock,
maybe we can work that out.
I'll hand them to him.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'll email him and see what he want to do. But if you guys won some of those hooks, let us know. And even if you guys maybe want something other kind of hooks or whatever, maybe we could trade them out or something like that. But
you know what?
I don't want guys to win something and not claim it, but it's up to them.
I'm exactly the opposite. Yeah. You've waited too long, you've lost. On the Horizon trip, we'll be giving away lots of great hooks. Let me tell you, I worked hard to arrange this this whole thing.
Did, yeah.
No. We want to give those hooks to you guys, so keep that in mind. All right, we're back to more questions. All you got to do is threaten it, man. I'm telling you. Emmanuel from beautiful Florida says, enjoy your wings. Omar, how heavy would you fish a Rain Shadow RC HB 90H 40 or 50 pound?
RC 90H, yeah. That rod there I think is rated 30 to 60. I would consider it a great 40-pound rod. But, you know, it's got enough backbone to fish 50. No problem. I mean, but definitely would be my choice for a 40-pound rod, and I would fish another heavier rod for 50.
All right, very good. Emmanuel's right, man. If you mention Friedman,
I know, huh?
what do you get this week?
I don't know. What
Get a bunch of hooks, right?
Yeah.
Or
Get
left
some free hooks, yeah.
You want to think about that? And we'll take a couple more questions?
I'll
Or?
tell you guys what, this is what we'll do for our long-range guys. I don't know how many guys are out there, but anything Wahoo related, you know, whether it's going to be a trolling lure or casting lure or wire, that kind of thing. You know, I'll give you guys 25% off on anything Wahoo
Wow.
related, which is a pretty good discount.
It's a great discount.
This time of year is what guys are buying, so
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get rid of something that's like you don't need no more, or
Right.
something like that. But
Right.
this is going to be for the long range guys. So I know it kind of excludes some of the guys that don't have a trip like that. But if you're on a trip, so especially if you're on a 9-day leaving tomorrow, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Scott.
Scott, get up here.
Oh, he's packing. He's trying to wash his dirty underwear right now.
But yeah, if you guys are on a Wahoo trip or something like that coming up, you know, come on down and load up on that Wahoo gear because that stuff's expensive. You know, the Wahoo jigs are not cheap. It's no joke, but it's worth it. Wahoo fishing is one of those things that if you have an opportunity to do it, you should, man. It's by far, I mean, right below, you know, yellowtail jig fishing. I think that Wahoo fishing is right up there.
So much fun.
Yeah,
They are
it's awesome.
so fast.
Yeah.
They're bitching fish.
It's an awesome.
They're great eating fish,
Yeah,
too.
that too. I mean, it's great to eat, but they're just awesome to catch.
Yep, 100%. All right, 310 Rodworks.
Oh, that's
You know
Darren.
that guy?
That's Darren right there.
Yeah, it is Darren. Hey, Phil, Sam, Darren, it's great to hear from you. And thanks for participating. Always an honor to have you here. Will either of you be fishing before the end of the year? Anything exciting? Yeah, Darren, we'll see you Friday night on the horizon. Got a day and a half trip. I'm doing that. And then
I
Sam?
got my 11-day too. And also, you know, to mention here, Darren got a gigantic tuna. Actually, a few of them.
Oh, he
got
did. He was
Super
fishing
Cal,
down
yeah.
in Puerto Vallarta.
320,
17 or 27 or
20 pounder or something like that.
Yeah, nice
Gigantic.
going,
So,
dude.
big congratulations to Darren. I mean, that's a milestone fish. Very, very few people have caught a yellowfin tuna over 100 pounds, let alone 200 and now 300. So that's awesome, Darren. I think he caught it on one of his deviant kind of 310 special exclusive rods there. And that, I think that thing has been catching so many big fish. So congrats, Darren, on that's an awesome fish.
All right, Jeremy says, good evening. Did some pier fishing the past couple of days. Piled some spotties and a corbina. Nice going.
Awesome, yep.
Oh, Jeremy says, oh, I love this. Yeah, I forgot. That was the key thing. He says, where's my hooks? Because Phil
That was
is
Jeremy.
an idiot.
That's who got a hold of me. So
Oh, so he's the guy in San Diego.
he's the guy in San Diego.
All right.
So we'll have to work that out, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you want to meet me, the idiot,
Yeah.
down there in San Diego, I'd be happy to do that. Smooth Rider. Hello, guys. I was wondering if you can give me a recommendation for the smallest spinner reel I can use in the islands that can handle a yellowtail, and what reels do you recommend?
So
Thank you.
Anything in that
Good
5,000 size, you know, whether it's a Daiwa, Shimano, but it's going to be in that 5,000. I think that's going to be the smallest. It'll probably fit about 250 yards or so of, I think, 40-pound braid, if I'm just kind of trying to remember off the top of my head here. But there's quite a few reels out there, anything from the Spheros to the Saragossa and the Shimano. Daiwa has that BGMQ, Saltis MQ. Those are really, really nice reels. I kind of like the Daiwa maybe a little bit better, only because I think they've integrated some new technology that they have in their high-end reels into that kind of more mid-priced reel. But something about that size, something that'll hold about 250 to 300 yards of 40-pound braid, I think you're going to be more than sufficient.
All right, very good. Let's see. Isaac says, and he sent us a super chat, $20, man. Phil and Sam could make a video on the United Composite rod lineup. It's becoming my favorite rods.
Yeah, maybe that's
We
something
should
can
do that.
Yeah, we're going to have some downtime this winter.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be a project we can work on.
We need
for
something to
sure.
do, right?
Yeah.
Keep us out of trouble. Keep us from eating all the wings next door. Blue Skies, my squidder got me a 36-pound yellow 2 years ago on the Pursuit.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is a
36
big
pound is
forky.
that's a big
I'm
yellowtail.
guessing Catalina Island. That's a
Most
big
likely.
Catalina Island yellowtail, man. Speaking of Blue Skies, I went over and did the Fibbers Christian Fishing Club and spoke over there. What a lovely bunch of people.
Yeah.
Have you been over there?
I haven't. No,
You'd love it.
And those guys come in here, yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And yeah, it was that mix because they don't hide the fact about their faith or anything. So that was nice as far as I was concerned. It was great, wonderful, lovely people. Had a great time there. I had to really exercise some
Self-control?
discipline, self-control,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of pizza and desserts.
Oh,
and
yeah, I bet. Where was it at?
It's over in Costa Mesa
Okay.
at the church.
Is it like
The-
an open meeting or something like that? Or
yeah, I think so.
okay.
Yeah, because I asked, you want me to invite people? And yeah, I
There you
did.
go.
So yeah,
You should, yeah. That's pretty
really,
cool.
really nice. All right, Kim Herbert. Hey, Sam. How about some hooks to us out-of-state callers?
Well, I think it was open to everybody. So if
Yeah,
you
it
were-
was.
If you were there last week, or the last time we were here, but I'm sure we're gonna do it again. In fact,
Let's do a giveaway on the next show.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
advertise it right now.
they, we'll bring some things and we'll give them away.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right,
I'll
then.
bring some Daiwa. I'll bring a Daiwa reel in next show.
Okay,
I got a spinning reel.
there you go.
Yeah.
She wants hooks, so you got to bring some Daiwa hooks.
I can bring some blacktail hooks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do I have blacktail? No, they're in at 20 seconds. I thought I had some in the car. I was going to go get them. Yeah, we'll definitely do that, Kim. Promise. Puck you, planning a white sea bass trip for the first time next year. Where would be the best bet to hit them? On the Endeavor,
Tucker McComb.
on the Phil Frieman charter.
When is that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I got to talk to Tucker. Sometime in May is what I'm guessing. A great time for white sea bass.
Yeah.
Come on, Sam, play it up.
Those guys get them for sure. I mean, year in, year out. At this point now, it almost seems like it's a sure thing with those guys. I mean, they definitely go on a run. It's still hard to predict as far as a date. Like you say, oh, if you go on this date, you're going to catch them for sure. It doesn't quite work that way, but you want to keep your eyes and ears open. And also, too, if you want to guarantee a sea bass, maybe book, a couple trips.
I would do that
You know-
because they are ghosts.
Yeah, when they show up, and I don't know how they do it because in general those things are hard to hook. But when those guys get them, it seems like it's limits. It's like,
Yeah, they kill them.
yeah, I know a lot of guys. What they'll do is in June when they go to 1 to 3, guys will book a trip around that time because it does seem like they'll bite a little bit better.
Yes.
Right around that window. So you might want to look at that. I forget when it is exactly. It's mid-June or something like
Like
that.
the 15th. It's
Yeah.
like right there. You're saying mid-June, and you're right,
Yeah.
I think.
But you might want to look at that. But early on too, those guys get them as early as April. Those guys will get them. But yeah, that's probably the boat. That's probably where you want to go.
All right, very good. Let's see. Jeremy says, when are you going to be down here? I'll be down there on Friday. Yeah, Friday, I'm guessing probably around 5. No, I'll be there probably around 3, somewhere around, bouncing around somewhere in San Diego. Jeremy says, I thought you had to restrain yourself because you cuss like a sailor. I do have kind of a salty kind of dialect that I do fall into occasionally, especially when yeah, but I do that when I walk in a sport boat. When I walk into a
Yeah.
church, normally I don't want to get hit by a lightning bolt, so I change that. Or maybe that's me that cusses like a sailor because I am one. Yeah, right on, Jeremy. Thank you for your service. Kenji, what's up, fellas? Puck you. Endeavor is out of where? Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing. 805-676-3474.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
That's it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's great up there. Yeah. So anyway, I don't have that date yet. I need to talk to Tucker about it. But I mean, if you can't make our trip, those guys up there, Central has been the Channel Islands.
And also,
There's
too,
been good fishing
once he
here,
gets
but-
his date, go the week before.
Yeah.
That's going to be when they get him.
Well, you're talking my Friday night trip up like I'm going to get them.
Well,
so
no, you're going to get him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sea bass is so hard, man.
don't listen to them. Just go like this right now, okay? That's what I'm doing. Let's see. Puck you. Got it. Gabriel de la Trinidad. Do you guys recommend changing the treble hooks on metal jigs? ¿Qué piensas, Sam?
No, not really. Well,
Jamás
so
nunca.
that's a pretty big question there. So, surface
Es una
irons.
pregunta grande.
Yeah, surface irons, yo-yo irons, like your Tatty, Salis, JRIs, things like that. I wouldn't change them at all. But on your more Colt snipers, the Akana style jigs, if you're going to be using heavy line, meaning 60, 80 pound tests, because sometimes those big fish will eat those, and so you're going to use heavy line to try to land them, and you're going to be pulling hard, then yeah, you're going to change them. If you're using 25 to 40 pound tests, I think you're fine. Especially on those Akanas, I think they come with a little bit heavier duty hook. I know that the new AFTCO crossbreed heavy jigs, those definitely come with the heavy hook, so you won't have to change those at all. But But definitely, I would change them on those other ones just to be safe. You can do it anyway, but especially if you're using heavier line. I just got a text message from the guys on the Shogun.
Right now?
Yeah, they
Live up from the Shogun.
live.
Yeah.
They just made it down to the rocks
Yes.
this afternoon. They got some wahoo, but there's a lot of sharks around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, should we break it to Scott now or after the show's over?
That he's going to catch a shark, or is he going to get wahoo? He's
Uh,
getting
the-
wahoo. He's going to get them.
Oh, I didn't. I
Yeah.
wanted to
So
tell
maybe-
him
maybe I'm gonna-
it's all sharked up
I'm
down
going to
there,
switch
Scott.
to
You're
an
screwed.
over.
Oh, you're going to the over, huh?
Yeah, he's going to get 3.
All right, there you are.
Yeah. But they are there.
The who are biting.
He says he didn't know how many they got, so they must have got quite a few, or maybe not too many. But lots of tuna around at the rocks, which is also good.
Yeah.
Good sign. The tuna's been kind of like absent from down there for the
Yes.
last probably 10 years or so. So that's cool, but a lot of sharks, a lot of life. So that's good. Good to hear.
Live from Island Fishing Tqckle in Carson,
It's a
California.
sponsored trip we have on there.
Update from the show. You have a sponsor? This is your trip?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, but I didn't want to miss the show, so I said, guys, you know what?
Yeah,
Guys, go
right.
ahead.
Yeah.
I'll stay back to the show.
Well, so what's the real
The
story?
wings. I wanted some wings.
Oh,
so, yeah.
okay. Leroy's on the trip, so you didn't want to go, huh?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Just kidding, Leroy. All right, let's see. Puck you. One more question. Salmon fishing going to open up again coastal here. Saw they closed it this year.
Yeah, they did. I don't know if that was a question or a statement.
Yeah, I think that's a statement, right, Puck you?
But yeah, that's terrible. Up there.
I'm
I
not
know
sure
those
what
guys
the
have had a hard
puck
time
you're
with that.
talking about there.
They've had a hard time with that.
Yeah, I know they
salmon
have.
closure,
Yeah. All right, Daniel Leanos. Hey guys, just finished with my. Can you see that? I see with my work, but thank you for still being here. Yes, there's more people watching the show than we've had all night long right now. Is the World Series terrible? Is the Raiders game terrible? Or is the Phil and Sam show so
Terrible.
good?
Oh.
No, never. It's always good. Hey, we got kind of a break here. Do we want to sign off? Let me just remind you all, hit that like button, push us up over 60. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, where we've had 450,000 likes on TikTok alone. So we're stoked about that. Visit my kids over there at Bass Bros. Check out their interview that they did with me. We did an interview. Bass Bros on YouTube. I think you'll enjoy it. Sam actually said he did, so that's good stuff. Omar, what rod would you recommend for 50-pound bait stick?
Something that is 7.5 foot to 8 foot. Rated probably going to be in that 40 to 80. It depends. Some of the rods there, you might see a 30 to 80, something like that. But I would say that tops out at 80. Whether it be a 40 to 80 or a 30 to 80, something like that. It really depends. But like in the rod that I was just showing you here, that RGP 76 HP probably be a good one. But something like that, it just depends on the brand. But you're gonna be looking 30 to 80, 40 to 60 or something like that, right in there, 7.5 foot to 8 foot. As far as the different brands, I mean, you can go on forever on that. But give me a call down here if you're close. Come down and we can pull on them too. Sometimes the different rods may have a different tip action that you just might like the way it feels better, one or the other. But that's another thing too. That's kind of hard to really, explain in word. You kind of have to pull on them.
All right, Puck U says, yeah, what the puck am I talking about? Yeah, exactly. Rick Slater, I think Rick wants to donate some money to our efforts to send stuff down to Mexico. We're going to be doing Ensenada before Christmas. Rick, rather than me explain it here, how about you send me a text? Hopefully you got a pen and paper there and you're ready to go. I'll repeat it twice. Just send me a text and then we'll get into a phone conversation tomorrow. Or we can text back and forth even this evening. 657-227-6459. One more time, in case Rick is scrambling to get a paper and pad, or no, that is a paper, a pad and a pencil or whatever. Whatever you're doing, Rick. 657-227, what are you smiling about? 6459. Just text me, and I may not get back to you this evening. I will try. But, Sam, he may keep me up all night over here with a chicken wing.
Smiling because the wings are on the way.
Yeah, perfect. Jeremy, and you can use that same phone number. You can send me a message on Messenger, but I don't look at that as often as I look at my phone. Jeremy, that phone number is 657-227-6459. Send me a message, and we'll see if we can get together. Are you going to give me his hooks then?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to give me the hooks. And I guarantee you, Jeremy, if I don't see you at the landing, I will sell them to Scott Buchert. Yeah, at a discount. No problem. All right. Hey, I think that's it. It's been a great show. It went by so fast.
Yeah, huh?
I don't know about you. I'm going to run over there, and you're going to tell everybody what the prize they get if they mention Friedman Adventures, and you're going to invite everybody to come to Island Fishing Tqckle, where I always like to hang out.
So this is the time of year, guys, that we're going to be doing.
I can't get by there. What are you talking about? There we go.
The long range scene here, wahoo fishing kind of being the one kind of fish that you just don't get locally. So if you're going long range fishing, typically that's the one area that you have to kind of bulk up your tackle. So anything wahoo related this week through Saturday, you get 25% off, whether it's going to be trolling jigs or wire or casting jigs, things like that. Anything intended for wahoo in more your terminal tackle area. So come on down. We are open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Phone number here is 310-707-1205. And we are located in the city of Carson on Avalon Boulevard at 21809 Avalon Boulevard. Come on down.
Excellent. Do you want to answer Ken's last question there? He wants to know what you
yeah.
think about the Accurate Boss Magnum 197.1. Just picked up this order reel.
Yeah, it's a cool little reel. It's about the size of a small squidder. Nice light bait reel. It's definitely heavier and kind of more bulky than what a more modern reel. Even Accurate has kind of improved on that reel quite a bit. But it's a cool little reel. I prefer the newer stuff, but it'll definitely fish 20 to 30 pound tests, no problem.
All right, Sam, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. You ready for some chicken wings?
I'm ready.
Are we going spicy?
All the time, yeah.
Maybe they got everybody dressed in Halloween outfits over there. I'm
could be.
excited. Hey, thanks, everybody. Always good to be with you here on Tackle Shop Confessions. And my deep thanks to you, Sam. Appreciate everything.
You got it.
All right, we'll see you next.
Good night.
Are we coming back next week?
Good night,
We'll figure it out.
Luna. Good night, Adriana, my wife. Hope you did your homework already, and hopefully you were able to carve out your pumpkins.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. You better put some posts up on Facebook with those pumpkins.
Well, either that or I'm doing it tonight, I think.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
All right, good night.